and welcome to Random Number Generation. This is episode 85, The Legend of Zelda, Link Between Worlds Randomizer with Saku. Before we get started here, as a reminder, this is Random Number Generation, a show about randomizers and the runners behind them, and I am Skybilz, your host. Couple announcements on behalf of GDQ. Awesome Games Done Quick 2024 will be live in person January 14th through the 21st in Pittsburgh, PA. Speedrun submissions will close September 10th. Volunteer submissions will close September 18th. Use !AGDQ in Twitch chat for more info. If you're interested in camera, check-in tech, or any of the other volunteer positions, be sure to apply even if you don't have any experience. And of course, if you missed out on any of our other Hotfix shows or past events like Flame Fatale, be sure to check out the VODs on youtube.com/GamesDoneQuick. And with that being said, Saku and Rick, we have the developer here from Legend of Zelda Link Between Worlds. How are y'all doing?
I am doing absolutely fabulous. I'm super excited to showcase this game. I love it so much, and I just want more people to be introduced to it. So I'm very excited.
Me too. I'm very excited to be here. Sakura has been great, and she's going to put on a great show for us today. I've been looking forward to this.
All right. So with that, I'm going to set up. We're going to not rename Link. And we're going to start on normal, and let's begin in 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck, have fun, Saku.
All right, what do we got? All right, so the shop, you may remember from the vanilla game, Ravio has a whole rental system here, and in the randomizer, we solve that by basically not doing it. All these items that would be rented, we're just buying them. They're ours now. Robbie's got a new business model for us. Okay, so Sakura's checking the sand rod sled item. That becomes unlocked when we collect the Asfala painting from whatever dungeon that's in. But it doesn't have anything we care about, so we're not going to worry about it for the moment. Let's see, she picked up a sword in the shop.
Yeah.
And
$100 bucks. I got $100 free dollars.
Yep, Ravio will give you... Oh, you go ahead.
Oh, yeah, Ravio will give you one free item at the very beginning of the game. Luckily, on most occasions there's rupees there, and so it's nice to just, pick up some free money that you can then use to purchase something else in the shop. We got the bracelet. So Ravio's bracelet, super important item for basically the entire game. There's not a lot that you can do without it. You basically get it fairly soon at the beginning of the game. Ooh.
Yeah, so the thing we're most looking for right now is you need 2 of those bracelets to be able to use the merge ability. Hopefully the second one isn't buried too deeply.
We also have, there is a weather vane as well that I activated a little bit ago. Those weather vanes are actually used in order to quickly transport yourself across the world. We get a bell. It's actually in the shop. There's a couple things in the shop I need to go back to buy, but unfortunately, right now I'm poor. So, well,
there's that bracelet.
Yeah. Super early bracelet, very nice. I'm very happy with that. Okay. So we're gonna go, now that we've got a sword, we're gonna go over here. Again, continue to activate the weather vanes, because being able to kind of walk around the world fast, or not necessarily walk, but transport yourself around the world is pretty nice.
We are getting a lot of quality things up front.
We just got the Master Sword, which I'll let you let you talk about what that does. Besides, more damage.
So it does more damage, which we like more damage. But for the most part, the only thing it really unlocks is a Tyrell Castle. You can break the barrier now that we have the Master Sword. And that's actually about it. You don't truly need swords for just about anything in this game. other than getting into Hyrule Castle, like I said, and fighting the final boss, which even then you only need one sword for that.
We're also picking up some of these little Maiamais. They are needed later for an upgrade, depending upon what dungeons I need to do later. I need 10 of them, because I suspect that I may or may not need either Ice Runes or Turtle Rock, and getting those upgraded rods are very nice.
And speaking of dungeons we have to do, I was looking on the bottom screen. We're zoomed in right now, but I think I saw X's over Eastern and Hera. So those are the dungeons. Those are the dungeons we'll have to visit to pick up a painting. We won't have to go to Gale's this seed, and we won't have to check out Hyrule Castle. Hyrule Castle in the randomizer, it actually does have a dungeon reward, either a portrait or a pendant. The reason for that is in the vanilla game, people don't remember this, but there's actually not just one pendant of courage. There are two. Zelda gives you the first one in the prologue, and they just refer to it as the charm. I still think Zelda and Impa knew what it was, and they just didn't want to tell Link. But Sahazral has a pal, and he tells us after we finish the Eastern Palace, and that's the second one. So for randomizer purposes, we have both of them shuffled, and where you get the charm in vanilla could be another pendant, could be a painting.
I need to take my chicken buddy up to the roof here so I can save Woman, which is her canonical name.
The most well-named character in this game.
Yeah, she apparently can't sleep at night because there's something screaming on her roof. And to be honest, I probably wouldn't be able to either.
We have a setting where Maiamai can be shuffled with everything, and my favorite thing is when you get the Maiamai off her roof, and then she goes to thank you for getting rid of it, and then she hands you another Maiamai.
Ooh, interesting.
What was that hint?
That I think it was Kakariko is on the path to Zonganaga.
Interesting.
So Desert Palace.
Okay, I guess we should explain hints. So, we have hints now. You may have noticed the little blue hint ghosts around. We're still in sort of the first iteration of them, but they work very much like the path hints in Ocarina of Time Rando, if you're familiar with those. They will hint the location or the region where you can find an item that will lead you to a boss that you need to beat. Or we also have always hints, and we have sometimes hints, which will just tell you what's at individual locations. If you don't remember these ghosts when you played the game, they were there, but they were invisible. You had to wear the glasses.
Yes, hint glasses, but you get super late game. Also, I don't have the bell yet, so fastest way to transport myself back to my house is to Death Warp. Unfortunately, I have the blue mail, so that is a little more difficult than usual. Actually, I'd rather take this for now. Oh, actually, I can take both. $50 and literally exactly how much money we need.
Perfectly planned.
All right, we've now got everything we need from Ravio's shop, and we should never need to come back here. So for this game, basically how you would beat it is, for the settings that I have, you need a specific number of portraits to get into Lowro Castle, and then need to beat Ganon at the end of the game. So we have 5. You can set the amount of portraits that you need to whatever number that you would like, and I've set it to 5 for the sake of showcasing the game. And we also have a setting on called Reverse Sage Events. So you'll notice right here, the door is locked. I can't get into Hyrule Castle, and there's a chest out there that I can't currently get. And that is because Yes, I have reverse stage events on, which means I need to find the portrait pertaining to that particular stage, I guess, that interacts with that spot. Whew. All right, Shady Guy has the net. Good
Rush whatever dungeon has Orin. Because we need that. We don't really need that.
All right, so we're gonna go over to Eastern here. So Eastern has multiple ways to get into it, but Ice Rod works a little differently in this game. Conveniently, it drops a chunk of ice from the sky, and that can be used a lot to, I guess, access switches that you would normally not be able to, which I find is pretty handy. Normally in the vanilla game, you'd get the bow, you'd go over here, you'd see that you can't get in because Ravio has locked the door on you, so that he could get you to come to his shop and buy stuff, and you get a bow and use that bow to basically get into Eastern Palace here. So we have everything we need to beat this dungeon, but it is technically bow locked, I believe.
Yeah, the logic will put. I mean, honestly, Eastern. There's a million ways to get into Eastern. Like just about any item will get you into Eastern. The only thing that hard requires bow, in terms of logic, is the boss. But Sakura is very likely to break logic. We'll just have to remember that for hints, because that's where that's going to matter.
Yeah. And what the portrait is that we obtain at the boss also would be something useful to know too. Like if that portrait at the end of Eastern unlocks something, and yeah. All right, more money, lots of money. We're gonna find a lot of money in this game. There's a 3,000 rupee check later on in the game, and hopefully we get a hint to see what it is. It'll be something about the Great Fairy reward. So if we see anything that says Great Fairy reward is and then something junk, then I'll be super happy. Yeah, okay, I did do that. Sorry, I'm like a little nervous, so I'm doing goofy things.
Yeah, you're
Okay.
good. So folks may have noticed that when Sakura talks to those hint ghosts, she's actually paying them 10 rubies for those hints. That's something we put in partly because since we're talking about money, this game does like to absolutely hurl money at you. So you can configure the price of the hints, and if you don't like the sound of paying for it, you can also set it to 0.
Yep.
But that was the thinking. In the vanilla game, he charges you play coins. You know, those coins you get for walking your 3DS around. We didn't want to make people have to use those.
Yeah, this dungeon is pretty simple. It's the first dungeon you would complete in the game, so as such, you're not gonna see a lot of, you know, fancy stuff. But I will showcase a couple of different ways that you can do things here. There is some secret entrances to get chests and whatnot, and when you find the compass, it actually shows all the chest locations in the dungeon. So thankfully we got that nice and early, so you can see all the places that are coming up. So we have to check. So we need multiple small keys in order to beat this dungeon. Thankfully, we got them early. We're not going to have to hunt around for them too much, because you actually need 2, and we got them right away. So here, this this is one of the rooms that needed, quote unquote, the bow or some sort of ranged weapon to access that switch. We have Master Sword, which has sword beams, works just as well. We have the boomerang. If you have the bow or even bombs, then you might be able to. I don't know if you can hit the bottom one with bombs, but. So I normally go in here first because I like to open the door here in order to leave in case I need
awkward,
to leave,
but it can be done.
We have everything that we need basically to complete this dungeon, so this is more of like a safety thing. Kill all the enemies in this room in each of the corners, grab your item, and more health. Health is honestly never a bad thing unless you're trying to death warp. But we have the bell, so it doesn't really matter. You'll also notice that I'll be picking up these little tails or other miscellaneous monster parts on the ground. Those are actually used for potions. And the only one that is of value to me is blue ones. There's blue, yellow, and purple. So you'll see them kind of show up in the rando at specific points. You can find them in chests. You can get them from enemies. And yeah, I only really go for the blue ones because they're just very good. So I did that fancy ice rod hitting on that switch there, which currently I don't think is in Logic unless you've recently added it. Like, sorry, I don't think it's a logical way to hit that switch. Rick? Oh my goodness. Well, I ended up getting picked. It's all good. There we go.
The ice rod logic.
Yeah.
And that should make for some interesting scenarios, because then you're going to have the potential for... Oh, land. Very nice.
I do enjoy that.
Yeah, so that opens the possibility for ice rod locked Eastern, depending on how keys get placed, which could be pretty cool. You could have a situation where this room to Sakura's left, where the vanilla big key chest is, this room could potentially be inaccessible until you beat the boss, because the small key could be behind the boss. With that logic.
This guy decided to go the complete opposite way of where I needed him to go. So, in the vanilla game of A Link Between Worlds, you would actually generally get your big keys from the big chest, which is a little different than some of the other Zelda games. So you actually do not need to have the big key in order to open those. Which was something that I did not realize the first time I played and was very confused on how I was supposed to find the big key when I got all the checks except for the big chest. But this is Yuga. Yuga needs ranged attacks, and we're going to use the ranged Master Sword beams. You could also use the boomerang or the ice rod, but I definitely prefer
You have so many options. You have so many options.
Woo. I would like you to get into... There we go. It's easier to hit Yuga when Yuga's on a cardinal direction rather than having to do a diagonal attack. All right, there we go. So normally at the end of beating the boss of the dungeon, you would get either a portrait or a pendant. In Eastern Palace, it's a little different because there are actually checks after the boss. So in order to make it so you don't get warped immediately back to the beginning of the dungeon, because that's what happens when you would pick up, well, actually in Eastern's case it wouldn't even take you to the beginning of the dungeon, it takes you directly to Hyrule Castle.
Yeah.
So it would teleport you really, really far away. So we actually we actually have to go all the way back to the beginning of the dungeon in order to get it. Conveniently, there are checks along the way that we will have to get anyways, so it is super convenient. Whoop. Or we can walk off the edge like a goof.
I like it. So here we're in, this would be where the game tries to teach you about merging. And sort of because of everything Sakura just said, with this whole escape sequence, we call it, we had to make a decision about where to put the dungeon reward. Ooh, a nice t-shirt.
Yeah.
So right now, you're going to see it here in a second. There's going to be a portrait that just, hey look, it showed up for some reason. And we got Saris. Now Saris doesn't do much for us. She doesn't unlock anything under any settings, but we do need 5 portraits, so this is progress.
Yep. We are one step closer to defeating the final boss. Alright, so we did get, conveniently we did get the bell, so now we can start warping around. Conveniently we have spots on most of the cardinal spaces. I'm actually going to do 2 things here. I'm going to go through this area here, which is kind of your lamp tutorial, and how to equip items tutorial, because if you don't have 2 items equipped, it literally will not let you out of the menu.
Yeah, I have tried to fix this a couple times. We'll figure it out one day, I promise.
You can see at the bottom of my screen, it's actually flashing because it's demanding that I open the items menu. But we just ignore the game. And we will go through here. You need a small key in order to progress through here, but going through here will actually unlock the door so that we can go into Sanctuary, which is another, it's another merge location that we'll need later. I haven't really talked much about Lorule yet because we haven't gotten to that point, but since we unlocked the merge bracelet, we now have the ability to go into Lorule, which is where the second half of all of the dungeons are. I mean, it's actually more than the second half. It's the vast majority of the dungeons are in Lorule. And so we're gonna find these smoky portals here that we're gonna be able to go through in order to access Lorule.
After a brief walk through Tie-Dye Land.
Yeah. So I'm less coming here for a check at the moment and more coming here. There is a check, but I'm more coming here so that I can set up a warp point for later.
And
this guy.
We can see the rest of our portrait dungeons from here.
Yep.
It looks like we got Ice, Dark Palace, Turtle Rock, Desert, and Thieves Town. Oh, we didn't get Swamp Palace. I know that's your favorite.
I know, I'm super sad.
That's a bummer. That's a bummer.
My favorite dungeon. I did not get to showcase it.
Well, not this time. All right, so I'm guessing we're gonna try to avoid Ice and Desert if we can, because those are 2 very long dungeons. Slash, they take a long time to get to. Especially Ice. Ice involves 2 auto-scrollers that we just don't want to sit through those if we don't have to. Or fingers crossed we won't have to, but the seed may have other plans.
What?
And that Maya did not want to come off.
I feel like that was close enough.
It should have been. It should have been.
So this check here actually is normally locked by a big old rock. So there's a big bomb that is close to, I guess, I don't even know what the town is. Low Rule Kakariko? Is it Village of Outcasts still, or is that a different name in this?
All right, so they chose the most confusing way to name this imaginable. So, in A Link to the Past, the town is Village of Outcasts, and the dungeon is Thieves Town, right?
Yeah.
In this game, the town is Thieves Town, and the dungeon is Thieves Hideout.
Okay.
So it's like they just like, I don't know. I don't know who decided that, but I get confused all the time.
Ooh, Low Rule Castle. Okay, so another thing that we set for settings is that the Bow of Light, which is required to beat the game, is guaranteed to be in Low Rule Castle. So that right there, at the beginning of the hint, there is a code in like brackets when it's referring to a dungeon check. For that one, it was LC, which means Low Rule Castle. And for Low Rule Castle, we know that Spike Ball Chest is not our Bow of Light. And I'll have you know, my least favorite check in the game is also in that room or in that dungeon.
Do you not want it to be on the eyeball chest?
I do not want to do the eyeball chest. There is Ice Runes is on the path of Moldorm, which I'm assuming probably means hammer.
That's gotta mean hammer. Well, it has to be, because we already have glove and merge. That's the only thing it can be.
So Ice Runes has the hammer, or at least has something that leads to the hammer.
Oh yeah, right.
I'm gonna go talk to the stylish woman. And every time we go see her, she'll give us a kiss. We get some hearts here. I'm also gonna buy more money.
Have you picked up the scoot fruit yet?
That's why I'm buying more money for hints and fruit and shields. Yep.
So the scoot fruit is nice. In vanilla, it lets you one time you can warp back to the start of the dungeon. In randomizer, we tweaked it so you can use it as many times as you want. You don't lose it. You can actually do the same thing with the foul fruit. It's now an infinite fruit as well, but it's not considered for logic, so you don't really have to worry about it.
Yeah. There's also a setting where you can randomize the mini games. Those are turned off for this particular rando right now, or like this seed in particular. So we won't be seeing any of the mini games. Okay, well here we go. Here's the great
That's a good end.
fairy.
All right, so we will not be visiting the great scam fairy today.
Nope, not today.
F's in chat.
No 3,000 rupee check today. Well, heck. So we're gonna need still a lot of things in order to access pretty much any dungeon right now.
Yeah, it's looking like the only one that's in logic.
Oh yeah, I don't have numbers yet.
Well, we can do a dip into Thieves, or we can do Skullwoods. Skullwoods is not a great dungeon to do early in the seed generally, because it has very few chests and so many keys.
Yep.
I think there's only 3 or 4 total items to get out of it.
Ooh, a bottle.
Oh, that is maybe progression?
Potentially.
One whole check. People who are familiar with Link to the Past may remember the sick kid. He's in this game too, but he's grown up and picked an interesting hobby.
Yes. Very, very much so. Oh, the Hotman shield. I like this. Okay. I very, very, very much like this. I actually did some experimenting, I think it was 2 days ago, to see if I could use the regular shield, and, oh, I think I already checked this guy. I did an experiment a couple days ago to see if I could use the regular shield against Ganon. The answer is no. Ganon definitely does not particularly care if you have a shield, unless you have the Hylian shield. So having the Hylian shield is nice because I'm able to block and then be closer to Ganon in the final fight. Not required, but it is very much a nice to have.
Makes the fight a lot comfier.
Alright. Oh, Lady Guy has the net. Okay. Wow,
Yeah,
that
so
guy
that's-
has like super aim.
Oh, they really do. So that was the second copy of that hint. Every hint has 2 copies, and there are 58 total hint ghosts in the overworld. There's actually a lot of them in the dungeons. If you're wondering why we're not seeing any in the dungeons, it's because there are so many ghosts. There's 132 total in the overworld and in the dungeons. You know, that's too many hints. So we had to make a decision there, and we just took out the ones in dungeons. We might experiment with some other ways to distribute hints in the future. There may be room to do something else with the ghosts. There are also the shadow links. There are 29 of those that we still are thinking about what to do with. Yeah, well, we'll see where that goes.
Skullwood has a very fun hand that likes to follow you around and grab you and take you back to the beginning of the dungeon. So I am trying my best to avoid them. I'm gonna stand on this floating platform here so that I can bait the hand into slapping it. So I can actually move ahead to this front platform so I can actually move faster. So this dungeon, a lot of small keys. Conveniently, actually, getting that small key earlier makes my routing in here a little nicer. Because I can actually grab this door instead of having to go all the way up to the top of the room to grab the chest, which I have to go back into anyways right here. This ghost is making my attempts to get into here very difficult. So yeah, normally if you don't have a small key, you have to grab this chest down here and then go back outside, fall down for that chest and do this whole sequence again. So having that there. Okay, these guys do not want to take my fire.
Yeah,
To be fair, neither would I, but
don't say it's not short. But yeah, so those first 3 chests were all key. That's not that surprising. The way this dungeon works, the first 5 chests, 3 of them are guaranteed keys. So, you know, this is par for the course. What we're really looking for now is, well, some sort of progression, but our big key. If we get the big key in the next 2 chests, then theoretically we could think about skipping what I call Left Side Skull, not a blatant ripoff of Left Side Swamp from another game. But we probably will check that anyway because we're looking for progression. Unless Sakura is feeling risky.
I don't know that I'm feeling that risky. These Gibdos can be lit on fire. They also will turn into the little skeleton guys that we fight regularly, as you saw earlier in the dungeon when one of the fire bars was whirling around. If you happen to time it right, you can actually walk through them on the same frame that they're kind of like on the same frame that they are taking damage. Okay, so I'm gonna send that guy away for a minute while I move these statues into place because I need to get to the other side of the dungeon here.
Everyone's favorite part, the statue moving.
Cross our way over here, and I'm gonna skip opening the shortcut because I have no intention of getting caught by the hand. And while we're in this particular area here, I'm going to you'll notice earlier that I was using the hand in order to hit specific breakable spots in the floor, and that is one of the ways that you can basically kind of get through here. The hand is required to hit buttons, to hit breakable floor stuff, and you can also do it with things like bombs or hammer. But we're also going to use the hand to defeat our buddies in the top area here, because again, we don't have bombs or anything that can really deal with it. I think we can use ice rod to like freeze it, but might as well just use the hand. He's gonna show up anyway, so
yeah, an ice rod will take a while. Better to let the hand lend us a hand. I'm sorry. I'll leave.
All right, so we're gonna go down here. The hand is just gonna continue to harass us for the entire dungeon. So you can actually get rid of it by, like, for a couple seconds by killing it. I say a couple seconds. It's a decent amount of time. Enough that you can get done whatever you need to get done, and enough that if you need the hand to break something, it gets really annoying that you killed it. This is a very long room. It's very nice if you have boots. We don't. So we're gonna walk very slowly across this area, light this, and oh my gosh, there's enemies behind us. And we're gonna miss again. There we go.
And you eagle-eyed viewers may have noticed that Link kind of turned around and looked at the door, and then nothing happened when Sakura walked in here. We removed the door that locks you in the randomizer for the skilled players who come in and do all of Skullwoods without the lamp. Not recommended, but we don't lock you in there in the event that you were brave and then forgot to bring a lamp, or forgot that you didn't have fire.
Go away. No. No. Gotta do the whole thing. I tried to do a glitch where you can actually not duplicate the eye, but you can use the eye twice instead of having to go all the way around to get the other one. But the timing on it is pretty tight. I did it 2 days ago. I was very proud of myself.
Yeah, it takes a little practice, but the problem is that if you want to practice it, you have to do all of Skull, pretty much.
Yep.
And we can see that Skullwoods had... Wait a minute. Was that a red pendant?
Very potentially. I'm pretty sure that that is a pendant dungeon.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, okay, I marked it as that. I forgot for a second. I was like, wait a minute, is there an issue?
So I'm just gonna throw this eyeball along the way. I think okay, I did grab it. Like, I think I skipped the big chest, but oh wait.
Did you get the compass?
Yeah. No. No, I did not. Otherwise, it would show up with the boss door. Oh no, the boss door is the other one. Don't you dare! apparently the eyeball can also be used as a weapon, which is very nice when there are things chasing you down.
It does a lot of damage, too.
It does, yeah. So we're gonna ignore the hand and, you know, based on what you've seen in the dungeon, 3 guesses on what the boss is. If you were guessing a even bigger hand, then you are correct. So this boss is pretty typically just merge with the wall boss. And very, very much so. So this is phase 2, where it's even angrier hands.
Now we are very fortunate to have Master Sword here, because this is the boss that Nintendo, even in vanilla, they gave this guy too much health. They really did.
Too much, yeah.
It's a 4-cycle minimum in vanilla. I'm trying to see if we can maybe nerf him just a little bit for the people who want a less.
Oh man, it's always
slappy.
The thumb. Random, like, the thumb actually kind of sticks out a little bit and will hit you when he does the slaps. So I try to position it so that it won't do that.
No, but what Sakura is doing here, this is genuinely the optimal strat, is you just run back and forth. Otherwise he's just got such a big hitbox. He can coordinate pretty easily.
And if you stick yourself in the wall, he just continues to slap when you come out of the wall. So it's just better to... Sorry. It's just better to... just take it.
Alright, so if this isn't the compass, then the chest that we missed is the compass, and we don't have to care. Oh, but it is.
It is. You know, I often find this dungeon ends up giving me the compass on the boss. I just get super lucky that way. There's actually, like, every time that I play this game, somebody's like, hey, did you know that you don't have to do this boss? You could just skip it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, but what about the check? But if you know it's the compass, yeah.
That's going to be something that racers are going to have to contend with. For those who don't know, the skip for that boss was found on the very first day A Link Between Worlds was released. It is the day 1 glitch. And it's dead simple to perform, but you need the tornado rod.
Yep, which I currently do not have. So, I'm actually coming over here for 2 reasons. 1, because I have a bottle, and 2, because I have a lot of money. Oh, well, speaking of the tornado rod.
Speaking of.
So there's a guy in the woods here, very, very suspicious guy, who's like, hey, I got something for you. Though you do need to spend 888 rupees on it, but I won't tell you what it is. So you can be like, oh man, what am I gonna get? It's a steal. Well, it's a golden bee. And that actually unlocks a second check for us at the bee guy, who is a very big fan of bees. My favorite was actually when they had text in the rando. There used to actually be text that would overlap. So I would be told about like 5 times in the same text box that this bee is perfect.
Oh yeah.
And it's very funny.
Hey, maybe we'll bring that back. Probably not. So the rando right now my approach to text is to get rid of it. For the most part, it's not all gone, but in the name of, you know, making it the experience a little smoother, a little faster, and because people in this game really like to talk a lot, we took out as much as we could, and we're still taking some out.
Yep, they do in fact like to talk a lot. Maybe that's why I like this game so much. I also like to talk a lot. The next thing we're gonna actually do is we're actually gonna go up Death Mountain, and I'm going to grab the checkpoint up there. That way at least we can, you know, maybe find something good along the way.
Yeah, because even though we have... Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I have a decent chunk of items, but unfortunately it's nothing that allows me to do anything really that's dungeon related. Yeah,
I think mountain climbing the mountain's smart right now. The other thing you could do is we could go pay a visit to the Scared Hinox.
Yeah, I don't have flippers, but I can jump down, I think, onto a ledge.
Yeah, you don't need flippers.
Yeah. I do like visiting that guy. He doesn't like it when I visit him, but I do enjoy going to visit him.
Soccer is gonna bully him.
I am gonna bully him. He gives me 8 things. Definitely willingly.
Definitely willingly. That's a great way to put it.
Alright, so again, more of weather vanes. What I'm more interested in this section is actually that we're going to go to the top of the mountain. There's going to be another one of these, which if I happen to find the hook shot is going to be super handy. Because it will help me teleport over to... or not teleport, it'll help me hookshot over to the other side, but being able to warp back to the top of the mountain is very nice. We got a hint earlier about the blacksmith having a B badge, which means that there is that check or that item that we just got called Master Ore that you can actually use to get, if you get 2 of them, you can get a check from the blacksmith, which we know is junk. So we're gonna completely ignore it for now.
We may have to get it if the low rule blacksmith ends up having something. And he is an always hint. So 1 of the, or 2 of the ghosts out there will tell us if we need to worry about the Master Ore.
Yep. We're gonna completely ignore this bridge down here, because up here at the top, there's actually another check, which is something, hopefully, that gives us something good. Maybe flippers? Honestly, oh, okay, well...
Wow. Sakura, put away the spoiler lock.
No, the bye-bye. Why these bye-my's don't like me. Okay, flippers is very good, actually. It's like what I was hoping for the most, because it puts a lot of things into logic. So I have red mail, so I'm just kind of gonna tank a lot of these rocks because I don't feel like waiting around for 500 years in order to get through here.
So those flippers put, we can do Gales now, we can do Turtle Rock now with our Ice Rod, and they also put, yep, Thieves is the other one. Everyone likes to forget that you need flippers for the basement of Thieves.
I have in fact forgotten that before and then jumped in the water and forgot immediately that I did not have the ability to beat it.
Oh, yep. I think that's one of those like rites of passage. Everyone does it.
Yep. All right, so we have pretty much for the what is it called, the DK caves?
Oh, the Donkey Cave. Yep.
Ooh, Ooh, Thieves' Hideout is on the path to Gemosaur King. That's probably bombs, if I had to guess.
Probably.
Because I've already got the lamp. The bombs is probably in Thieves, and the battlement has the silver rupee, which means I do not need the Impa statue in order to get the item on the ledge in Hyrule Castle.
The Thieves is sounding pretty appealing right now.
Yep.
If it potentially leads us to bombs.
Yeah, or honestly, it could lead us to something that leads us to bombs. So that's the other thing you have to keep in mind is you may not find particularly the item that you need, but you could or the item that you suspect, but you could end up finding something that leads to that item. So for instance, if I found the sand rod or something, then I know that it's most likely that desert has, or something that requires a sand rod has bombs, because we got the hint that says Gemosaur, which Gemosaur is in Dark Palace, and Dark Palace is 23 is number 1. Okay, Gemosaur is the boss of Dark Palace, and Dark Palace needs bombs in order to complete it.
Oh wow, that was
very fast.
It was very direct. Here, I was sitting here thinking, like, what if we get stamina scroll or a sand rod? Like, what nonsense is that gonna be? But nope.
Yep, nope. The game just straight up gave me bombs. So I wasn't expecting it to get it so fast. But this particular room here requires us to place statues on 3 switches. And one of the switches, we are the statue. So there's also a check in that same room, so I like to basically grab that check after I've moved all the statues into place, because I have to merge into there anyways, and the time that it takes to merge into the wall, like it's just faster to do it at the same time. And grab this small key. I very much like the fact that I just found the small key there, because that means that I can actually skip a chest and check it on the way out. There's a guy here, this guy, the blue guy. He actually, when you kill him, he actually disappears. So as long as you don't leave the dungeon, come back, I will not have to fight him again, which is very handy because later on I have an escort mission, which if he's there will cause a bit of a pickle. Yeah, that doesn't work if I don't hit the switch. Bum, 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 bum. All right, so we activated that. We did also get bombs. These two. These two enemies here, they are.
Yeah, this is the standard experience for this room.
Yeah. These two enemies are actually part of another setting called Progressive Enemies. Progressive.
Yeah. The progression granting enemies. So yes. those green enemies, Nintendo put them in dungeons because the way that dungeons work in this game is like, since you're renting the items, you would have the item up front, and then the whole dungeon is about that one item. But they wanted to put in things like, walls that could be blown up, and players might not have bombs, so they wanted you to still be able to do it. For the rando, we have a little nifty setting where we just get rid of all of those types of enemies, pretty much. And that basically has the effect of making bombs and the hammer And the nice ice rod, if you play with the nice mode setting, which is, maybe we can talk about that later, it makes all those items a little bit more valuable. And this is a very fun room.
Oh no, your definition of fun.
I mean, I'm entertained.
That's him.
There you go. We'll continue picking up more rupees. We're pretty much set on rupees for the game unless we need to buy potions. I suspect with red mail and hopefully a bunch more hearts that we'll find along the way that we hopefully won't need. Yeah, but we have a chest. If you're looking at the bottom screen, you'll notice in the bottom right corner there's a chest in that room. And we skipped it. Normally you'd need a small key, or well, we did need a small key to open that door. And if I happen to find the small key earlier, like I did, then I don't actually need to check that until later because we will see it on the way out. So a little bit of saving time. Great Spin makes these enemies a joke, but we unfortunately do not have it. So what we're gonna do is basically kind of
Oh dear. Oh!
mess up.
No, that's okay. You killed one of them. He'll stay dead.
Yep. These enemies will typically will grab me and I'll have to start over. And the stuff that you do along the way stays like that. So we hit the button, hit the button to open the door, thus that stays open. But because we don't have Great Spin, we kind of have to deal with these guys by just smacking them. And they like to run away with you, or run away, not with you, from you. They like to run away from you if you're going to hit them, or chase after you if you're going after to hit something else. So
I just imagine Link frolicking off with a bunch of Zazucks.
I need to get her to cross the bridge, but he was not following me across. So you can get her to stand in place by either talking to her or by merging with the wall. So I normally drop her off there because we need her to cross a bridge over here.
Yeah, if you had the Pegasus boots, there's a neat little trick where you can just tap the L button, and you don't start a dash or anything, but just that action causes her to get left behind. Unfortunately, we don't have the boots right now.
Nope. And I like to line myself up in a straight line so that I can walk across the two buttons, so I don't have to actually ask her to stand there. Because she will stay a little bit farther behind you when you're walking, but if you're standing still, then oops, I actually need her. If you're standing still, then speaking of sand rod, what the heck? Every time I mention an item.
Well, I'm glad we found the bombs first.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'd be very nervous right now.
Yeah. Desert Palace bombs. But yeah. Having her walk behind you gives you a little bit extra space so that you can have her hit the button as you're walking over it instead of having her stand still and having to deal with that. So we're going to leave her up there so she can't be grabbed. And they're going to attack us, and I'm going to try to knock them off the ledge or kill them. But honestly, knocking them off the... Oh! Hello? Knocking them off the edge is... Oh. Yeah, see? Because she's walking... Oh my god. There we go.
Yeah, so in A Link to the Past...
Yeah.
Oh, you got.
No, I was just going to say, because she was walking behind me, we could hit the button without having her just stand still. But if she stands still, she's standing directly on you. But yeah, go ahead.
No, I think it's funny. In A Link to the Past, they had this same sort of mechanic, but then, surprise, the maiden that you're escorting turns into the boss. Well, in this one, it honestly feels more like they just made her directly be the boss, because she's really what you're battling through this whole dungeon.
Yep. So this is the room earlier with that chest that we basically skipped. It could be, like I said, it could be a small key if you haven't found one earlier, but we did, so thankfully we can just go over here, grab the chest. It's just money. Oh. So that door that we passed right there, that was normally the door that we would go into to grab her to begin with. And surprise! Use their own traps against them.
I'm looking at our tracker, and after we get out of here, we can head on over to Dark and Turtle, and that'll take us up to 4 paintings. But we're still going to need something else to hit the 5 that we need. So
Yeah.
we're going to need either another glove to do desert, the fire rod to do ice ruins, or a hammer to do Hera. And we know that
Yep.
whatever leads the hammer or whatever leads to hammer is going to be in ice ruins.
Yeah, so we basically will need the fire rod to get hammer. So we know that we will basically probably not be doing Hera this time,
Probably not.
because we will have the ability to beat enough dungeons that we don't actually need to do Hera. Wow, what a great item. So earlier in the dungeon I mentioned that there was a blue enemy there that we had to deal with, but we didn't have to deal with it later. That was that room. Conveniently did not come back, so I normally lock her in there so that she can't get grabbed while I deal with the 2 enemies on either side. Very handy. I'm very sad that I don't have Great Spin because it makes this whole sequence much easier. We actually have the door directly in front of us, but there is one more check up here. We're gonna have her stand on that switch. We'll stand on this one.
And if you forget this, if you forget this chest, you can come back for it later. Weren't always able to do that, but we made some tweaks. So Thief Girl will be here if you return to help you get this chest. If you forget it, or if you decide to skip it, and then later realize you've made a mistake.
So this boss is pretty self-explanatory. I actually need her, otherwise it won't spawn. Or won't, yeah. And I don't want to leave her behind because I don't want to have to do that whole sequence all over again. Basically, we just need to hit it enough times until it dies. It's actually not very, the beginning mechanics is mostly merge with the shield and then dodge. Make it flash and then merge with the shield again and dodge. So I don't know if there was there's been any questions from chat or anything, Sky, but if you want to ask anything, there is definitely time now.
I haven't seen anything too much, but I may ask a question here that's probably been on a lot of minds. How old is this randomizer, out of curiosity, or how young is it? Might be a better question.
No, that is a good question. We're still pretty new, but I would say I've been working on it for close to 2 years, and I'm not the initial creator of the project. That honor goes to a great guy. His name is Tokapa. I don't know how much time he put into it before I picked it up. I'm gonna estimate and say 6 months, but it could be more than that. So we've put in some good time, but we are still definitely a young project. It's all open source. If anyone wants to come in and help out or contribute or anything, feel free. Join the Discord. And yeah, we're a growing community. I've been really happy with how much progress we've been able to make, and we've just got some really cool folks playing this. Like Sakura. She's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, speaking of which too, y'all should be sure to follow Sakura. That is at twitch.tv/Sakura Tsubasa. And again, Saku, if you want to talk a little bit about your stream and what you've been working on, feel free.
Where's my portrait?
Oh yeah, this wait a second. Just wait. There it is. So that's Gully. Gully is it's a free spirit, you might say. His portrait. His portrait is hanging up in Dark Palace in vanilla, and he like drops down after you beat that boss. So in order to make him work, he plays by different rules than everybody else. He's kind of up there, and you got to wait a second for him to come down. It creates fun little moments like that where people panic, like, wait, why is nothing here?
I was very worried. I'm sorry, Sky, you asked a question, but I was so focused on the fact that my prize was gone that I did not remember at all what you said.
No worries. No, I just wanted you to talk about your stream, how folks can find you, what time you stream, anything you've been working on. This is your time.
I play randomizers. That's basically all I do. Most of it doesn't matter what kind of game, just typically randomizers, Zelda randomizers mostly, but I've also been playing some Subnautica rando, some Castlevania Symphony of the Night rando, Metroid Fusion rando, and yeah, I play a lot of randomizers, but I stream super late at night. So I'm one of those overnight, don't see the sun kind of people. So I think it's what, sometime between 9 and 10 Central. So, as I was mentioning earlier, actually, we have something on called Reverse Sage Events, and luckily enough, we actually just unlocked the green portrait. And the green portrait, Gully's portrait, oh, interesting. Gully's portrait is actually what triggers the enemies, the stealth enemies in this area to go away. So there's normally a big old stealth sequence here that I do not have to do right now because we just got the green portrait. I'm interested to see why the Dark Palace, which is like right here, is now on the path to Grynex.
Yeah, I'm confused by that because where was our ice rod? I can't remember.
It might be Bow.
Could it have been bow locked? Okay.
I think it might be from Eastern.
That might make sense.
Yeah. So this is what we were talking about earlier about how bow isn't really necessary, but we may get a hint at some point that's like, hey, yeah, because we have the ability to beat Turtle Rock. So that Grynex is the boss of Turtle Rock, and yeah, would normally, yeah.
Yeah, logic is fun. I always think of Eastern Palace. It's kind of like Dodongo's Cavern and Ocarina of Time rando, if you're familiar with that. The joke in that game is like, even if you don't need to do that dungeon because it doesn't have something you need, you're still going to that dungeon.
Yeah. Pretty
much. Because it so easily enters logic and it has so many checks. That's basically how I feel about Eastern Palace in this game.
Yeah. So this dungeon is pretty much the bomb and lamp dungeon. Most of the dungeons are pretty, like, one or two items are its main focus. And so this one is bombs and lamp. Thieves' Hideout was just, it's typically just your I have access to the, what is it called? Low rule kind of thing. It needs flippers, but it's not really like the focus of it. It's mostly just like an escape sequence or escort mission is its whole existence.
Yeah, there sometimes is some funny logic with the red Igor fight. The logic wants you to have either a sword to be able to bat them away from you, or the bow and arrow, because they take triple damage from arrows.
Yeah.
But that very rarely ends up mattering for logic. It's just one of those, like, every once in a while you get something funny.
So we have mimics. And there's red mimics here, which thankfully don't require the bow, but do require some sort of ranged attack. And as we mentioned earlier, the sword is in fact a ranged attack. So if you have full health, you could do like that. You can also do bombs and other things, but yeah. I typically, if I have Master Sword when I'm coming in here, I'm just gonna fight them with that. So, in here, you'll notice a lot of invisible pathways, or like on the far right, you'll see those arrows there. That actually kind of disappears when you go over there with the lamp. And so it's trying to show you, hey, there's stuff over here that you need to do. It's actually, this dungeon gives you a whole lot of hints on where you're supposed to go. We're actually gonna unequip the lamp in here because it can be kind of mean to do this with no pathway. This floor is completely invisible if you have the lamp. Well, I say completely invisible if there's light. So if you have the lamp, then you have a circle around you, you just can't see.
Yeah, this is actually my favorite dungeon. I love all the little shader effects with the lamp. And the trick where it's like, oh, to see more, you actually have to turn the lamp off. Like it's so unintuitive. It's just a really cool dungeon.
I have to make sure that I'm like out of range of this guy from hitting me, but also able to hit him back. Oh, you were stuck on the skulls. No.
I have never seen someone get that first try.
So these eyeballs here are actually how we unlock the boss room, or access the boss room. We still, of course, need the big key, but setting those up there is pretty important. A lot of the rest of this dungeon will be done in the dark, so I hope you like dark rooms. Because, yeah, these platforms and everything else out here, the glowy stuff is mostly invisible, like I said, unless you're not equipping the lamp. So,
Ooh.
I like that.
Nice bit of bacon sword there.
I do, in fact, like bacon. That's actually a very nice damage upgrade. Where's my button?
So we have not all the quality of life items, but we have a good selection of them. The only ones we're missing that could really make things a little cozier, a little nicer for us. Another sword would be cool. We don't really need it, but it would be nice. Great spin, which
Yes.
you know, if you're not familiar, it is something. It is something else.
Something great.
And the last thing is the stamina scroll, which would let us get a bigger stamina bar, and we could use our items a little more loosely.
Yes, stamina scroll is really nice. It also potentially is required for ice ruins sometimes.
Sometimes.
But not always. It's
Mostly
always
when
nice
you roll
to get.
seeds.
Oops. Yeah, honestly, yeah. No, you know what? The check that is mostly required when I roll seeds is the eyeball chest and low rule castle. The generator has it out for me. We're actually getting rid of a few ghosts that you can't see. Because, yeah, it's, invisible. But we're gonna go over here because there's a window we need to hit, and there's always a ghost over here that likes to be a little bit of a butt. Just like a tiny bit. So you'll notice by turning on the light here, we have activated one of our statues or one of our eyeballs from down below. There's another ghost over here, right there, who also likes to be a little bit of a butt. So now we've actually activated all the eyeball statues, but there is one more, check. Right here. And
oh my
of course
god, it's a hidden
compass.
room.
But yeah, fancy hidden room, and it has a little bit of a tight timer, but it is much more of a tight timer when you take into consideration that there are like 15 ghosts trying to attack you. So that's why we got rid of them earlier. Because we didn't want to have to deal with them. We didn't want to have to deal with them while we were trying to set up that. So another bottle, nice.
No, they definitely are butts. So people might know that there actually is another hidden room well, there's two more hidden rooms on that floor. One of them has a big gold ruby. That is actually not randomized, and neither are the silver and the gold super hidden rubies in Turtle Rock. Purely because they're not shown by the compass when you get it, and I just don't think people know that they exist. So they're just static for the moment.
All right, time for Gemasaur. Gemasaur is my favorite boss in the game because it's so cool.
He really is. This is basically the boss, Helmasaur, but it's like he won the lottery.
Yeah, very blinged out.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a second. I don't associate Helmasaur with winning the lottery.
Well, stranger things have happened.
This is weird. I've never seen this fight before. I mean, I've seen the Link to the Past version, but this one is not what I was expecting.
Yep, he gives you a lot of money. I'm assuming it's because they expect you to die when you come in here, and because you have to rent items in the vanilla game. When you die, you lose them. So having the extra money to be able to go back and buy them back or rent them again is handy. So we're just gonna basically tank the bites so we can just stay close to him and slap him in the face with our sword and make easy work of the boss. So this will be our convenient. Wow, man, I'm standing right on the item. Osvala.
Okay, that's a good one. Osvala's gonna give us some stuff.
Yep. 2 checks. Osvala gives us the check when we go and talk to him in the Sage Realm. And he also unlocks the... So remember when we did Thieves Hideout and we had to escort the thief lady around? She actually, we find her later. Osvala is actually the portrait that is regularly or originally from that dungeon. So we will find her later by our house. So I actually don't want to go there yet. because there is one more check that I typically forget if I don't grab it now, and I do not want that to happen, so we're going to go get it. I'm also going the long way.
I don't know why, but when you pick up rupees, like 5 is like what a fine, for instance. I feel like the game is like being sarcastic there, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
When you get like, there's a green rupee drop that you can get, and it says don't spend it all in one place. Yeah, no, it definitely is taunting you.
I'm like, why does this feel like it's a little cheeky? Which is surprising for a Nintendo game, right? Like, you don't expect it to be sarcastic and cheeky, but here we are.
Yeah, it's a little meme sometimes. Okay, letter in a bottle.
We don't want that.
Nope.
but now we have it.
Hey, why don't you want that, Rick?
So that is a trade quest item, and the trade quest isn't too long. So that letter we can take to the milk bar. He will give us some premium milk for our troubles, and then we have to take that premium milk all the way up to the grossest part of Death Mountain that involves an auto-scroller cave that we just don't ever want to do.
Oh.
Now, we don't have hookshot yet, so that's not in logic, but if we get hookshot, then suddenly that becomes something we might have to be concerned with.
Yeah, honestly, hookshot would probably be one of the last things we want to see right now. But we will find it because of the fact that Ice Ruins is in fact a dungeon that can be done. So it will give us, yeah.
I was gonna say, Saku, since when do you care about logic? You were talking about that at the beginning.
Yeah. That is true. I'm actually gonna go willfully obtain items from a scared Hinox. So we're gonna do that right now because that's a lot of checks that we can grab, and I would like at least one more item, hopefully. Ooh,
do you have enough?
Has a red roof.
Do you have enough Mai for an upgrade yet?
I do not, but I can get one. Ooh. I will get one when I come up here. Actually, I need to be in the... no, I can do that up here. There's a check up here that I can grab. Yikes. I always run directly into that electric pickle, so this time I'm glad I did not.
Electric pickle?
Yeah. So these... I like to call him the electric pickle.
I was gonna be like, that doesn't sound like the formal name for an enemy, but it makes sense now.
Oh boy, well, we definitely want to hope that we get a hint that Blacksmith is Blacksmith. We definitely don't want to get a hint that says low rule Blacksmith is something required, so let's hope that we do not get one.
Well, that hint the second hint we just got tells us something good. That tells us that we don't need to care about the green pendant.
Yes.
But oh dear, this could be a pedestal seed with that.
No.
I was thinking we were chugging along. This is pretty comfy, but now I'm not so sure.
Yeah, I definitely need to get as many hints as possible to tell me where what the thing is from the low rule Blacksmith. Okay, so we have now what we need for upgrading the Mai item. So we'll do that next time that we're by Link's house. So. Conveniently, we are also by 2 more checks, which is going to take me a little bit to do as long as well, actually, it'll be really quick as long as I don't take damage. But these things like to shoot a fireball at you and attack you from multiple sides.
These are the only enemy in the game that actively like strafe, so they avoid your projectiles. They're really weird to fight.
Oh no! Okay. Yeah, the range on this can be kind of rough.
Yeah, the logic doesn't consider this check unless you have, I think it's bow or bombs.
Yeah.
It might be something else I'm forgetting, but
Ice rod. I can hit them with ice rod, but it's kind of rough. Come on, there we go.
I think nice ice rod is in logic, but only on nice mode. Which I guess I should touch on that. So, because of the way that the Maiamai weapon upgrades work in this game, you pick up 10 Maiamai, you can trade them for an item upgrade, but you get to choose which upgrade you want. Because we don't want to make it so that you need all 100 Maiamai, the logic can't consider, oh, nice. Or not. Okay, we'll come back to that. Yeah, so nice items are obtainable, and they might let you do things a little bit out of logic, but they are not ever in logic under normal settings. There is a setting called nice mode, which will shuffle 2 copies of all of the Ravio items into the shop. Into the pool. So you'll find regular bombs somewhere, and then the second set of bombs you find upgrades it to the nice version. And that's sort of how that works. We're not using that setting today, but it exists if that's something you want. And we should talk about those Titans mitts and what that means.
Yeah. So Titans mitts, they're unlocked a few things. One is the thing that I'm doing now. Actually, quite a few things it unlocked. But the other thing that it unlocked was the ability to full clear Desert Palace, which is, I believe, a pendant in this seed. So that's another pendant dungeon.
Oh,
that is accessible.
No, it's a portrait. It's a portrait.
Oh, it is a portrait. Okay,
Yep,
okay.
yep.
Never mind. I am lying. So, it's definitely a portrait. Yeah, I knew that.
No, it is very long. We usually don't want to go into desert if we don't have to.
More monster guides. But that I guess is my 5th completable portrait dungeon.
Yeah.
Because I have Turtle Rock and desert.
So we're in, I would say we're in a soft go mode right now. And the thing that we might still need is we may still need the hookshot. If the Bow of Light winds up in the hookshot trial inside Lowell Castle. With the settings that Sakura is playing right now, our Bow of Light, oh yeah, it's the right one in Lowell.
Yeah, I always forget which one it is for low rule. High rule is easy because it's always the opposite of the one in A Link to the Past, but yeah, low rule can be kind of silly for me.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, Bow of Light. Under these settings, it's going to be in Lowell Castle somewhere. You won't have to scavenge the whole world to find it. It's an item that you only need for one thing, and it's just to beat the game. Kind of like light arrows in Ocarina of Time Rando. But yeah, in these settings, it'll just be in that final dungeon.
All right, we got Graveyard Ledge. I'm still looking for Great Spin, honestly. Or an upgraded lamp.
Oh, yeah.
Because that would be super handy. Okay, so I'm gonna go over to the, I'm gonna go over to upgrade my ice rod to the nice rod.
The nicest of rods.
Yep. And the reason why we're upgrading it is mostly because it's typically the only item that I really care about upgrading because of the fact that it allows you to actually make so the ice rod, as you saw earlier, it drops an ice chunk from the sky in lava that will actually, oh well, heck no. In lava that will actually make it so that makes a platform that you can walk on. With the nice rod, it will actually make 4 platforms, which is super, 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 super handy. Because sometimes it can be really tough to aim. So we're actually going to go over here, completely ignore this bird who's going to continuously attack us. I do like how it adds the flippers to Link's sprite as you're swimming around. The little toes.
Yeah. One of my favorite things is this game does have a fake flippers glitch, and it's so satisfying how it works because when it's active, it doesn't draw those flippers.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I can't imagine they planned that or how what's making it work that way, but I'm glad it does.
So in order to access Turtle Rock, I need to save some turtles. And there is 3 of them. Rude. There we go. Grab this chest here just to see. Oh man, so collect lots of them. Yeah, only worth 1. Can you tell me what the blacksmith gives me? Irene has a gold rupee. Well, that's handy, I guess. If I need more money, which at the moment I do not. Here's our turtle, number 1. He got stuck to the wall.
No, the 3 turtles actually do have names. I don't know if they're actually mentioned anywhere in the game, though.
I didn't actually know they had names.
Yeah, it's like, I know one of them's like Shiro, but I don't remember the other 2.
And lastly, this guy got stuck upside down, so we're gonna throw him back into the ocean. Or, well, I don't know. I don't think it's an ocean, but yeah. So, Big Mama Turtle's like, yay, thank you for saving my babies. And so if we need a ride anywhere, she will help us. And of course we do, in fact, need a ride. We need a ride up onto the top of Turtle Rock. So, Death Mountain is on the path to Stallblind. Interesting.
Oh, that was our flippers.
Ah, yes. Okay. But we need, as I was mentioning earlier, we need the ice rod to make lava turn into platforms. And also big chunks of lava that's, you know, spewing out of the ground will turn into other things, the walls that we can merge with. So we need to remove these flamolas. I actually am not sure if that is exactly how you pronounce that.
It's how I say it. It's,
But let me get this guy here. Yes. Okay, good. Whew. There we go. We got this. And there should be one more, which will, if we kill all of the Flamolas, then we get a peck that will spawn right directly beside us very handily. So there's this, which is just a piece of heart. We need a lot of keys for this dungeon. So we're looking right now for small keys, big keys, a lot of small keys, and some big keys as well. So we're going to skip that door for now. We will go this way to grab the small key.
I realized we never mentioned, so the models for the freestanding items, the small keys, the heart pieces, the heart containers, so they're not swapped yet. It's something we're working on. It's something we definitely will have, hopefully sooner than later. But yeah, for this current version, you find out when you pick it up.
I have to wait for stamina to come back because I have to walk all the way over to the other side on the wall. And that, yeah, the purple bar on the far left-hand side of the screen is actually my stamina gauge. And instead of using ammo for weapons, everything uses stamina. So I never have to worry about, collecting arrows or collecting bombs. I just use it directly from the stamina. And so stamina is also used from merging with the wall as well. You see that room there with the nice rod is actually so much nicer, which is not meant as like a pun or anything, but yeah. Being able to do multiple platforms means not falling into lava. We're gonna go back here. So I typically will ignore the top left and top right rooms, except for when we're warped into them. So I never actually go into them on their own. I could have just, yeah. This room is tough. These enemies will light you on fire, and it's hard to hit them with the ice rod. So it's actually really nice if you come in here with bombs because you can two-shot them. But if you don't have bombs, then you have to wait for them to move into a better place. Yeah.
This room without bombs is you just figure out how to get through it any way you can, really.
Yeah, it's really difficult without them. So I'm very glad that we had bombs coming in here. So we can't grab that chest yet. We have to leave and go through some portals in order to grab it. So
now, we do have a setting, Sakura's not using it, but we do have a chest size matches content setting for people who like that sort of thing, where you, chests that have progression or things that you may want, it'll be a big chest instead of the small ones.
yeah.
So we do have that working for those who want it.
So you'll notice in the top right corner of the screen that there is a check on the map that I did not do, or a space on the map that I did not do. That is because that is berries, and I don't need those. So there is one room that I did not check on the main floor.
One of our bug nets, Shady Guy has it, which means that we're going to need the orange portrait, the orange one, if we want that net to be able to bottle any fairies.
Yep.
But we could also
So-
get lucky and get the other net.
But yeah, I that's another reason why I'm picking up the blue tails is at the moment I don't have a solid way to get health for the final boss, and Ganon can be kind of difficult to deal with on the best of days. So I do not have the stamina for this. Woo, that was close.
Yeah, the final boss in this game is not free by any means.
There we go. We gotta wait for our stamina to recover. So there's many locked doors, if you can see from the map on the bottom. There's one here, which just hides a blue rupee and was not necessary. So killing the 4 whiz robes unlocked this particular chest right there. We're gonna knock that down so we can get the other chest in there later. We don't have a small key for this. So what I have to do instead is I have to hit these, go this way, because this one has to have our small key. Yeah, wait, no, that's not a small key.
That's okay. That means the other 2 checks have to both be keys.
Yeah. Can you not? Get rid of these guys so that we don't have to deal with them later. And instead of using the other thing, yeah, here's our small key. Rude.
Nice tactical merge there.
Thank you. Avoiding the BMOs. I'm so sad that I wasn't able to do Swamp Palace today. Swamp Palace is like my favorite dungeon because it's got so many cool mechanics in it.
It's also just a really pretty dungeon.
Yeah.
They really nailed that water effect. But that's the nice thing about Rando, you know? You get a different experience every time.
Yep. So this is a timed bot. Oh boy, this might be rough.
I believe.
Whew. I cannot believe that I made it work. Build a bridge, and then grab our last small key that we need and go all the way back around. So that we can go through this door and hit a button at the back end of this room. That will put a bridge so that we can get to the boss room. And we do have the big key, so we'll be fine. I'm gonna get hit by that. Ooh, the dual freeze.
The double. Now, so I guess I'll mention, Soccer's mostly doing a glitchless run here, but we do have some pretty gnarly glitches in this game for the people who are interested in that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And really speed up quite a bit of these dungeons.
There is there's some cool overworld glitches too that I'm not showcasing today, but I definitely, if you're interested in those, there are a ton, and they're, you know, like you can get up to Death Mountain without the gloves. There's a lot of cool tricks and stuff that you can do in the game. So we're going to hit Grynex with our ice rod while he's enraging, so that we can stop him from doing that. Otherwise, he chases us down with a fire pillar until he gets until he runs out of energy, I guess. Need 5 hits with the ice rod here so that he goes to the next phase, pops up in the middle, and hopefully, cross our fingers, we don't get 500 spin attacks. We are trying to avoid the spin twins today.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Or this, honestly, I would just like him to attack me with his face. So oh, no, of course. Alright, well, we'll just sit in the corner and wait for him to stop.
So for those who remember Trinex from A Link to the Past, this is basically that boss, but minus 2 of the necks.
Yep. The dual hit. Alright. And defeated. Alright. Let's see what portrait it is. Hopefully it is the Dora Queen.
Hopefully,
like
yeah.
Shady guy?
And,
no, it's Impa.
And Impa's that's vanilla. Okay, so Impa's not gonna really be helping us too much, but it does get us closer to 5.
Yeah, Impa unlocks the door to Hyrule Castle, but we know that we don't need there's no portrait there, so it's just a pendant. Although we don't know which pendant it is, because I never talked to Sahashala, because I never intended to go do the pendants.
Yeah, we don't know if the worst thing we could see right now is if Lowell Blacksmith has our hookshot. That would be absolutely terrifying.
Yes.
That's not gonna happen, right?
No, totally not. No, definitely not.
Nah.
Actually, on that note, I'm going to warp over to Link's house because there's 2 hint guys, 2 ghosts at Swamp Palace, and I haven't talked to them yet because I didn't go over to Swamp Palace. So let's go see if they will. Actually, we'll talk to the Thief Girl too first. Why am I talking to you? I want your chest. I'm so used to. Originally, you had to talk to her to get the item, and I haven't broken myself of that habit yet. But now it's there, and I don't need to talk to you. I don't need to talk to her. Lamp trial chest has silver rupee. Oh, that's another chest that we don't need in Laurel Castle. Okay, well, that wasn't a good hint. We've already defeated Stallblind.
So people know, Laurel Castle has 15 places where the Bow of Light could be.
Yeah.
Now, we've gotten 2 of them ruled out that we could have access, and we can get the rest except for the 2 that are in the hookshot trial right now, because we don't have that hookshot. So statistically, Bow of Light is probably not in those hookshot chests, but you know.
Well, I'm teleporting back to my house.
Well done.
That's fine. You know what? The reason is because I activated it thinking that I had the warp point for over here, but I apparently did not go get it. So we're gonna go walk over here instead. But yeah, I do like how, if you're familiar with Link to the Past, Misery Mire and Desert Palace are still kind of interconnected in some way. Like they're still like you have to go to Misery Mire to get access to Desert Palace, whereas in A Link to the Past, you have to go to Desert Area to unlock Misery Mire. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I really like what they did here.
I am surprised that we have been so lacking on health. Oh, okay, one thing I do want to showcase, my favorite enemy in the game. Have you ever wondered what was underneath the the jazz hands enemies?
Oh, that's so good.
Yep. All right, do we have... Irene has a gold rupee. Okay, that's our second copy of that hint. All right, the jazz hands enemies have abs and a speedo. Rosso has red rupee. So I know that I do not need the crooked chest in Rosso's house, which I could not get anyways because I don't have a
Well,
I don't have a red portrait. All right, to Desert Palace. Oh my god!
Okay.
To the eyeball chest. I am so happy. No, I'm so happy I walked off the edge.
Let's re-roll this seed. I don't like this.
Oh man, I'm so excited.
All right, that gets us half out of the woods for hookshot concerns, but there is still one remaining hookshot lock chest.
Yep. Cross our fingers. I mean, we don't even know the hookshot is like behind the we don't even know that the hookshot is behind like Master Sword pedestal or whatever, but like the possibility of it is always scary.
Yeah, it really is. Even if it's not locked behind that, we could still find ourselves in a bit of a, you know, it could be anywhere kind of situation, looking for that hookshot. Did we ever get a hint for what the bouldering guy had?
No. Which is actually quite funny, considering like how many checks or how many hints I've already gotten. I feel like bouldering guy and blacksmith for low roll. I might have gotten a hint for blacksmith for low roll a long time ago. I know I got a hint for regular blacksmith, but when something is like not necessary, it's not something I really pay attention to as much as something that is necessary.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I kind of do the
like,
same
oh
thing.
Man, I definitely need this item, so I'm going to grab that particular check. Whereas if it's junk, I'm just like, meh, I won't go there then, and I just kind of purge it from my memory. This game loves its statue buttons. It's pretty much everywhere. And we have a sand rod that will allow us to pretty much place all these statues, pull the statues across the big sand pillars that we make. So it's pretty handy. I like to hit that button so that when I inevitably get kicked off of that area, that I can come back up. So this is a mini boss, and it's a pokey, and you have to hit all of the pieces of it to get rid of it. So we need to make pillars with the sand rod so that we can pretty much navigate most of this dungeon. Ideally, we don't want too many small keys here because depending upon how many small keys we get, we can actually skip the big chest. Because if we don't have any small keys leaving this room, then we know that the locked door to the left or to the right there, that would have to lead to a small key because we need a small key to continue. But that unfortunately just kind of went out the window. We got more small keys. So we will have to do the other door. This dungeon actually has a lot of small keys as well, a lot of locked doors.
Yeah, there's actually a so there's 5 small keys and the big key, which is 6 when you put them together. And the HUD, they only ever built it to display a maximum of 5 keys at once. So it is actually possible on certain settings to just not have it accurately display your key count.
Is there currently a key sanity option? I don't think so, right?
Not yet. There is some work that needs figuring out, but we think we know how to do it. We just gotta actually go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
But that's a feature I'm very excited for, and that's a great item.
Oh my gosh, Ganon is going to be a piece of cake. Which is a very weird thing to say when you pick up a lamp, but
It's true though.
it is very true. The highest damage dealing item in the game to Ganon would be having the lamp, the super lamp specifically, and the Hylian shield, which we in fact have both of now. So we are going to make short work of phase 1 and potential. Well, yeah, phase 1 Ganon.
Yeah, the only other things that would help speed up that fight, and this is kind of just extra, gold sword, of course. And if you have great spin, and you can actually do it this trick. Well, I can't do it, but people who are good can do it. Where if you use Great Spin with Gold Sword on the second phase, you can actually completely skip the final phase of the fight.
I need to learn that because tennis is impossible for me. There's a phase in Ganon's fight where you have to hit his like energy orb back at him. Typical Ganon fight. If you're familiar with any Zelda game, you'll have probably seen it at some point in time. But yeah, you knock the orb back towards Ganon, and the problem with A Link Between Worlds version is that it's not always the same speed. It changes speed as it's hit back towards you. So if you're in a rhythm, yeah, there is no rhythm because it changes as you're doing it. It's actually a lot harder than it looks.
Yeah, it looks just like tennis from any other Zelda until you do it yourself and you're like, wait, why doesn't this work?
Yeah. Because the timing changes every hit. All right. So a lot of this dungeon has hidden rocks or hidden chests underneath rocks here. So you have to kind of lift them up with the Titan's Mitts, those big rocks. That's why we need a Titan's Mitts. Pretty much most of these later checks in here require it. So, because you have to lift the rock in order to open the door to get to the second half of Turtle Rock. Sorry. Interesting. You need to lift the rock in order to get to the second half of Desert Palace, and I went the wrong way because I still need to do this part.
Smooth Gem, for those who aren't aware, is a trade item. You just bring it to the Zora Queen, and she gives you something. With this reverse stage event setting that we're playing on, You do need to rescue Orin, though, first before you can turn that in.
No! No! The timing is mean. Alright. So, by activating the sand, we are able to go and get the big chest in this room over here that we were not able to before. I messed that up. There we go. Small key. We pretty much need almost like every small key. Which I think we almost have them all. I think there's still one more.
Yeah, there's one more.
So there's an enemy down here that blocks another rock with another chest underneath it. Which is
the other Greg.
Green rupee.
So for any fans of Greg, this game we have two. I like to call them the Greg twins, and we have now united them.
So we lift up that BMOS. Oh.
Okay.
Well,
that's go mode.
That's pretty much, yeah, that's pretty much go mode. The only thing we're going to be grabbing now is health, preferably, honestly. Although we can't see what it is, so we're just going to continue opening chests until we find health. Because, yeah.
Those two skulls on the right there.
Oh, sorry.
I was going to say, those two skulls on the right there will always have health if you need it.
Sorry, I mean like heart containers.
oh, that kind of health. Yeah,
and great spin. Great spin would be great too. Small key, there we go. That's our last one. So I typically will avoid doing as much fighting with this guy as possible because he will follow me up onto my platform and knock me off. Thankfully, not too bad. Hidden room right here gives me another chest, which thankfully has a heart container. Going into the Ganon. Ganon is very, very strong and will hit you for an awful lot. So having the ability to tank, especially because we don't currently have the net. So our only possible way of healing is with a potion. The more hearts we have, the better. So I try to use the progressive enemies here as much as possible without using my own, because the bombs, when you place a bomb, you can see how much stamina that takes. It's quite a bit. So if I can get them to blow up the stuff, I think that was good enough. Yes.
Yeah.
So now we have the ability for there was an arrow shooting out of the wall, which would hit the crystal switch, which would allow us to kind of take the fancy built-in elevator. And by filling this room up with sand, we are able to go to the boss room. I do like this boss fight quite a bit, but I end up falling into the sand an awful lot. Because I tend to avoid taking out all of this boss has additional enemies that'll spawn partway through the fight, and so I tend to avoid them to just continue hammering away at the boss, and I don't have great spin, which makes me very sad. But this beginning phase, I don't particularly see them. But it will spit it out here.
Yeah, so this boss just has, this is another boss that just honestly has too much health. Thankfully, we've got the bacon sword, so that should make it quite a bit more bearable.
That was really weird.
I don't know why I heard this, but I heard bacon sword.
You did hear
Yes.
bacon sword.
Okay.
The community's, I guess, nicknamed the tempered sword the bacon sword, because of, I guess, a link to the past. Similarly has a name for it. I am literally falling off the thing a lot more than normal. If the boss hits you, it will stop spitting out sand and it will warp away, allowing if you don't have a good position to hit him, then just when you have red mail, taking an extra hit to like get into a better position is sometimes better. Hey, we can go get the net.
Nice. Not gonna lie, I was hoping that would be our other net right there. But, alas.
So that is all 5 of our stages that we need. So we can actually go to Low Roll Castle right now. I'm just gonna actually go grab the net because I would like extra safeties. And then we're gonna have to hunt down where the Bow of Light is. So we know that the Bow of Light cannot be in the eyeball chest. We know that the Bow of Light cannot be in the lamp chest?
Yes, and also the spike ball chest. I think those were the 3 hints we got.
Yes.
Which those
There's
are
a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, those are checks we don't really want to do.
There we go.
The worst place Bow of Light could be is either behind the big bomb flower rock, because we have to do that bomb flower escort mission, or it is possible that it's vanilla and Zelda has the Bow of Light. That could happen.
Honestly, I would like Zelda to have a heart piece, because that's always super nice. So this is the shady guy. You have to go here to trigger his cutscene in order for him to show up inside of Kakariko. He will not show up otherwise, so... We also have this moonstone, so we might as well just give it to her.
$50.
So again, because we activated Shady Guy, we can go back to Kakariko, and our good friend will be over here. There's 2 heart pieces inside of the shop. There's also, I believe this is a heart piece as well. So for $200 when we have a lot of money, honestly, not that bad. So, we need to sneak up on him because he stole something from the Zoras, and so he's very, nervous. He doesn't want to get caught. And so he's like, oh man, I can't get caught. I gotta hide when people come and chase me down. So
He's pretty shady, I would say.
I agree.
Sorry, was that bad?
No.
It was pretty bad.
Okay, we're gonna grab heart piece. Again, we have a lot of money, but Ganon hits very hard. Even with red mail. Oh, there's actually 3 heart pieces here. We have even with red mail, Ganon will hit me for quite a lot. So I have to be extra cautious. So We're just grabbing a little bit of extra health for safety. And I might as well equip the lamp now. I need to be... I don't think there's a portal over here now that I think about it. I think I have to take this one. I love this shifty-eyed Link crossing over through low roll and high roll.
Oh yeah, yeah, it's great.
So we didn't find, oh, heck. We did not find Great Spin, which is okay. We do have the lamp now. We're gonna completely ignore this guy, or slap him to get out of the way. We can save here, just in case.
We're gonna hear from Hilda here in a second.
Yep.
See what she has to say.
The low roll is supposed to be like the opposite, the counter to high roll. High roll is like two sides of a mirror. So low roll is the opposite of high roll. And so Hilda is actually low roll's princess, similar to Zelda. So there's a few chests along the way. We're gonna pick them up. If they're not the Bow of Light, then hopefully they're health. Or heart, not health as in like recovery hearts, but health more as in, of course, heart containers. Oops. Ran into him too fast. So we didn't actually end up picking up potions because we got the net. If we would have not found the net, then I would have grabbed some potions. It's actually really difficult to hit these guys when they're standing on the stairs because they have the high ground. Small key, small key, small key.
Yeah, it's the funny little ways this game likes to remind you. By the way, it is 3D.
Yep.
Even if it doesn't always look like it.
Yep. More small keys. I keep walking off these. Put this back on. This guy's here still. Grab this. Got this over here. But I do think that it's really cool that these, even though like they're different floors, the floor below is still loaded. As you can see, there's still enemies walking around down there. That's not like a cutscene. If you fall down there, you don't get the fallen down a pit animation. You actually fall down to that floor and the enemies are where they are. It's not just a cutscene going on. And that's actually something you'll see right here. Because there is that big chest or that small chest in the middle.
No Bow of Light yet.
Super cool. No, not yet. Alright, so I'm going to try to skip all the trials, and there are 2 chests up here. Cross my fingers and hope that one of these is the Bow of Light, so that I don't have to do any of the trials. So far, not so good.
Which, by the way, there was that cutscene when we entered the 3rd floor, where that door opened up. That door is normally like you do a trial, a square lights up, and you do 4 of them, and that's how that's how you make your way to the final boss. We're not doing that. We've got the trial skipped, so that door will just open automatically when you get there, and we get the full version of the music, which you're listening to right now, from the get-go, with these settings.
And we are going to do the bomb trial first. There are 2 chests in here, and we are unsure of which, or if any of these are needed. So I'm going to basically pretend like I how do I describe it? I'm going to do this one and pretend like the other ones don't exist for now. So I don't. At least I don't have to do the eyeball chest. That's the big thing that I was very worried about, because it is definitely the worst chest. Let's go this way. We got the hint for lamp chest though, right?
Yeah.
Sure?
Yeah, we don't need to go into lamp trial. This one you're doing right now is probably the worst of the candidates left.
Yeah. I am removing all the enemies because I need to, Sorry, my phone started ringing, like, immediately as soon as I started talking. I'm going to remove the enemies here because, yeah, I have to do another escort quest this time for the big bomb. I mentioned earlier, and I don't think I ever finished the thought on it, but that normally in the regular game you would have to escort a bomb to unlock a few openings, and with big rocks, and that we didn't need to, thankfully. This is kind of the same thing, but in the other stuff, there is a, sorry, I'm not very good at explaining this thing, but in low roll there is a big bomb you sometimes have to escort around, and we've disabled that. Like, we've had all the big bomb spots open so that we don't have to do that, but we still have to do it here. Which gave me compass. So not anything we need. So normally that door that you just saw me walk by that has a key on it, that is where you would normally fight a boss. We are not going to.
So there's only 2 checks left that are not Zelda, and they're both pretty quick.
I am standing in lava.
Brilliant.
I fell. So you'll notice that there is a big spike cannonball in the way.
Oh, you don't have to do this, right?
Don't I need to get to the other one?
We got a hint that that one's dead too.
Oh, did we?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I hope so. Or I marked it down wrong if not.
Okay. I'm just gonna check it because I'm not 100%.
Okay, that's fair. Obligatory tile room.
Yep. So again, just use your shields. This is actually why we bought the shield earlier in the game when we bought the spoot fruit, is so that we could do the tile rooms without having to worry about the tiles, because you just use the shield and you don't have to. Oh, actually, spike ball chest, you're right. That's what this is. You know, honestly, I just really like tiles. I wanted to showcase the core in GT, or Low Roll Castle, not GT. Now that my brain has processed the information, I'm like, wait a second, no, you're right. Where is the, oh man, so it's not lamb, right?
So the only one left is the one in the hookshot trial and Zelda.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll find out now if our hookshot was required. It was a 50-50 shot, it was.
Thankfully, no eyeball chest though. Go away, hand. It was required.
There it is.
Okay.
All right, let's go back to the beginning of the dungeon, or not the beginning of the dungeon, the beginning of the trial. Fastest way to grab by the hand and then leave. All right. Oh, time to get some fairies and then go see Ganon.
Now we didn't get great spin, but Sakura is gonna show us how to whoop some Ganon with that super lamp.
Hey, the fairy's getting away. Okay. Honestly, yeah, Ganon is pretty scary. So I'm trying to get as much health as possible because, yeah, even with red mail, if you get hit, it's kind of not nice. So we're gonna equip Bulb Light. We're gonna equip the lamp because it's fun. And we got our shield. There's also some health in those there. This hint will always tell you where the Bulb Light is. For here, it'll say Low Roll Castle, and so it won't tell you exactly where. It'll just tell you Low Roll Castle.
So the only question that remains is what do we think Zelda has?
Oh, I keep messing up. There we go. Hopefully health.
That would be nice. But there's a lot of items we never got that she potentially could have.
Oh. I did not shield fast enough.
No, we don't have the gold sword, but that super lamp is doing gold sword damage.
Yep. Oops, I turned around.
And down.
Now my least favorite part. Tennis!
That wouldn't be bad.
Which I didn't want to go. Alright, Zelda, give me health. Help me not die to fairies. Because, yikes. No, why is it always funny?
$50. Good luck.
It's always 50 bucks. So he's like, oh, you need payment to save Hyrule? Here you go. It's 50 bucks. So we have to merge with the wall and shoot Ganon in the Triforce, which just happens to be on his butt.
Great place for
So, yeah. Triforce of power. So again, we're dodging the fairies and not doing very good at it. It's really hard because, like, you don't have the, oh god, you don't have the full screen visible when you do that. There we go. Yeah, it's pretty hard because, like, you don't have the full screen visible, so you can't see where they're coming from. Ganon will dash at you, and again, you shoot him in the Triforce, which just happens to be on his butt. Dodge all the fairies-ish. These are actually super hard to dodge. Sometimes.
They really are. I love Nintendo. They took the chicken dodging minigame and they built it into the final boss fight.
So this last part, you just need to spam the sword. The other parts, you can't do that, because if you do if if you do that, then the sword will cause the ball to fly back at you again if you spam the sword in the first 2 phases. So yeah, time will happen when I hit or when I touch the Triforce, which will be very soon. Go talk to Zelda. We'll go back to our own world.
Hey.
Aww. All right.
Hey.
Let's go see the Triforce. Yeah, this whole section you can control Link, so it is still in the timer. All right, and time.
Hey,
GDs.
look at that. Well, underestimate. You were nervous. Look at you.
Of course I'm nervous.
You did it.
You did a great job.
You really did.
Thank you. But yeah, it's super fun. I really love this game. It's the direct sequel to A Link to the Past. It is so if you're familiar with A Link to the Past, there's a lot of like as you've seen with the map, like a lot of the map looks very similar. Minus a few things here and there, but yeah, there's a lot of cool things in the game. No rental system, so if you die, you keep all your stuff. So you don't ever have to worry about losing anything. Unless, you just turn the game off and don't save. And then in that case, I guess, yeah, you would lose stuff because you lose progress. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. And thank you so much, Rick, for agreeing to commentate today.
Oh.
I really appreciate it. I'm super happy that I was able to have you here.
Oh, thank you so much for asking me. Thank you for taking the initiative to put this game up,
Yeah.
and running it and supporting it. It's we're still pretty new. I don't think we have a whole ton of people playing it yet, but we are growing, and these kind of things really help. I want to thank you. I want to thank GDQ for letting us show off this game that we love and we've put so much into, and we're continuing to put so much into. Hopefully we got some exciting stuff coming up. If anyone's watching and wants to play, it's not too difficult to set up. We're happy to help you. We have a Discord. Come chat with us. Come play games with us. We'd be happy to have you.
Yeah, and I think the Discord was linked, right?
Yes.
Um,
Richard just did that
yes.
for y'all.
Yeah, sweet.
Awesome. Appreciate
That's
that.
the best place to start if you want to are interested in getting a chance to play it. Yeah, just join there, and there's a lot of good resources, a lot of cool people that are definitely willing to help, and yeah, it's a great game, and I'm super excited to look. I'm looking forward to all the additional stuff that we talked about. You guys were adding. There's a lot to see in the future, so yeah, definitely if you're interested in joining the community, it's super fun. A big thank you to the A Link Between Worlds community for being super supportive and awesome, and yeah, thank you to Rick for agreeing to commentate. Shout outs to Scarth, who's been tracking the whole time in the background. So the tracker that you have had on screen that has been done by, or being tracked by Scarth. And thank you to Skybilz for hosting, and everybody in the chat for hanging out and watching. I love this game, so I'm super happy that we got to show it off.
You know what everyone here should do? You should give Saku a follow. So that is at twitch.tv/Sakura Tsubasa. That's SAKURA TSUBASA. Please be sure to give Saku a follow, especially if you like randos, as Saku was talking about. Tons of randomizers, which is what this show's about. So if you love random number generation, you'll love Saku's stream. And again, thank you so much to Rick for being here too. Again, just an honor having devs of randomizers here just to get all that information that we might not be able to gather on our own just from playing the rando. And we couldn't do this without you. So thank you, Rick.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Yeah, the rando wouldn't exist without the rando wouldn't exist without the developers. So yeah, super amazing shout out to the devs because yeah, like I said, the game is phenomenal. The quality of life changes that have been added for the rando is super great, and you know there's still a lot of cool options that I did not have turned on. So if you're interested in seeing all those, yeah, just join the community, join the Discord, and get yourself involved. But yeah.
All right, awesome. So again, as a reminder, folks, this is not the end of our GDQ Hotfix programming for this evening. However, a couple important bits of information here. Awesome Games Done Quick 2024 will be live in person January 14th through the 21st in Pittsburgh, PA. Speedrun submissions will close September 10th. Volunteer submissions will close September 18th. Use !AGDQ in Twitch chat for more info. If you're interested in camera, check-in tech, or any of the other volunteer positions, be sure to apply even if you don't have any experience. And as always, your subs, Prime Gaming subs, gift subs, and bits shared on the GDQ Twitch channel help support Games Done Quick Hotfix. Please consider subscribing if you enjoyed the daily speedrunning content. Coming up next, be sure to stay tuned for Time Capsule right after the break. Take it away, Tippy.